Hi, ladybirds. Now, I know that some of you might well be interested in babies, and babies are so exciting to learn about, especially at your age when you might maybe have a few babies in your house sometimes, or you might know some in your family. Now, I thought I'd read you this book today, which is all about babies, but babies including human babies and animal babies too. So it says some animal words on here, so you might even be able to join in reading some of it with me. So you see they're all animal words. So you see the world, another animal word, is full of babies. So you see, the world is full of babies. And look, we have an elephant on the front with a little elephant baby inside. Right, let's have a look. Let's look at our blurb. It says, all over the earth, babies are becoming adults who can have babies of their own. One day, maybe you will have a baby too. Oh. Not all eggs are laid in nests. You were an egg once, then you developed inside your mum like this. At this stage, many babies look alike. Now that's interesting. Look, they've shown what a human baby looks like, what a kangaroo baby looks like, and they look very similar. Look at these ones. A bird, a newt, crocodile, a whale, frogs, fish. So some of them are very different sizes, have very different things that they look like, different features, and other ones look quite similar. All over the earth, babies are growing. It took 9 months for you to grow big enough to be born. It takes 9 weeks for a puppy to grow to be born. It takes 2 years for an elephant to grow and be born. It takes 21 days for a house mouse. All over the earth, babies are being born. You were born in a warm room. If you had a cuckoo for a mum, the first thing you would do after you hatched is push all the other eggs out of the nest. If you had a polar bear for a mum, you'd be born in a snow den in the middle of winter. All over the earth, babies are crying. You often used to cry for your mum. Parents and babies quickly learn the sound of each other's voices. Rhino calves squeal. Chicks chip, 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 chip. Hamsters squeak, squeak, squeak. Puppies whimper. All over the earth, babies are suckling. You suckled your mum's milk. Some babies drink milk from a bottle. Piglets and tiger cubs, monkeys and humans, all baby mammals drink milk. If you were a seal pup, you drink such rich, fatty milk that you would be 3 times fatter in just a few days. I wonder why. It's important that they have really rich, fatty milk. Wonder if it's maybe to do with helping them survive in their habitats. All over the earth, babies are sleeping. You slept cozy in a cot with blankets and gentle music. If you were a bat baby, you'd sleep upside down, hanging on with tiny fingernails in a drafty old roof space. You see. If you were a seabird chick through a storm, you'd sleep through a storm perched on a cliff high above the sea. Wow. If you were a whale baby, you'd float alongside Mum with all the sea for a bed and a whale song for a lullaby. All over the earth, babies are being carried around. Perhaps you were carried around outdoors in a sort of baby rucksack, maybe. Maybe you've seen grown-ups when they come to school carry their babies that way. If you were a lemur baby, you'd have to cling on very tight. If you were a kangaroo baby, you'd have to sit comfy in a pouch and peep out. If you were a crocodile baby, you'd ride between Mum's really big teeth. All over the earth, babies are growing up. It took about 6 months before you began to crawl your way across the rug. But think about this. If you were a baby rat, you would be an adult in 3 months with a family of your own, and you could have 20 babies every 6 weeks. 20 babies! That means 3 months later, you'd be a grandparent with 400 grandchildren. Good job they don't do presents at Christmas. And 3 months after that, you'd have 8,000 great grandchildren. 8,000? Oh my gosh. All over the earth, babies are getting dirty. You couldn't keep yourself clean when you were a baby, so you wore a nappy and had to be bathed every day. If you were a kingfisher baby, you'd sit happily in a stinking mess of rotten fish bones and droppings. Ooh. If you were a cat or a polecat kitten, you would be licked clean every day by your mum, and by using her really rough tongue. All over the earth, babies are learning to walk. You began to walk at about 12 months old. Many predators are waiting to eat baby animals. If you were a fawn, you'd have to be able to jump and run within an hour of being born. If you were a new butterfly, you could take to the air as soon as your wings dried in the sun. If you were a tiny turtle, you'd hurry to the sea as soon as you hatched. If you were a baby adder, you'd be very poisonous. All over the earth, babies are learning their own language. You started to talk about 2 years old. First you said, Mum or Dad. Then other words came out and you slowly learned to join them together. If you were a lion cub, you'd be learning how to roar. If you were a honeybee, you'd do the sun dance to show where the best pollen could be found. If you were a wolf cub, You'd be learning the howls and calls of your pack. If you were an otter, you'd learn to whistle. All over the earth, babies are exploring, maybe holding hands to keep safe. Perhaps you still like holding mummy's hand, or daddy's hand, or granny's hand, or auntie's hand, whoever looks after you. But if you were one of a shrew family, you would hold little tails. Can you see them holding the tails? Wow. All over the earth, babies are playing. You played hide and seek and tag. Lots of animals play chasing and hiding games too. It's practice for hunting or for escaping. You might know that I have two cats called Maisie and Monty, and they love chasing and hunting each other. All over the earth, babies are becoming adults who can have babies of their own. One day, maybe you might even have a baby too. Well, ladybirds, I hope you really enjoyed that. It was so interesting to find out so many different types of animals that have babies, and out of all those different animals, so interesting to find out some of the things that really make them unique and special. I hope you enjoyed the story and have learnt and enjoyed a little bit about learning a little bit more about babies. Bye, ladybirds.